Today we're going to be talking about this guy and how this replaces this distributor and how this makes it so that you can run your standalone ECU on your old school Porsche 944 with sequential fueling and ignition. Without this, you can't do that. You'd be stuck with semi-sequential and batch fire. This is your cam trigger. This will allow your standalone ECU to get a signal from your cam position sensor and allow all that fun stuff to happen. So stick around. I'll show you how we install this, how we set it, and how we actually developed it. So
next thing on the list is the trigger system, because before I start cutting up lines for coolant and temperatures and intake air temperature stuff, I want to make sure that I can get all the trigger stuff sorted out. So we are going to work on the cam trigger first because that's easier to get to and I don't feel like crawling on my back yet for the crank trigger. So we're basically just going to try and CAD up this sort of interface from the distributor. That way I can 3D print something that will then take its place, fasten the same way. I'm going to see if I can find some of these, but basically bolt forms. And then we have our Hall Effect cam trigger sync sensor. It's the same exact sensor that will be used for the crank trigger, but it only needs a single pin pulse per revolution to work with the Tuner Studio Speeduino software. So all we have to do is really replace the set screw for the rotor in the distributor with a bolt. Can't be stainless because it needs to be ferrous because this is a magnetic pickup, so it'll just be a standard bolt, and then that'll basically serve as our single pulse per revolution. But we need to get something to hold it in relative proximity. So 3D print something that kind of looks like this, that holds this in relation to the rotor set screw, which is actually on the back side of here. So I went through and modeled up a little guy to try and represent kind of this interface. I pulled a lot of dimensions off of the distributor cap and basically just tried to replicate that geometry. So this is just kind of fit kind of just like in here. These kind of extra pieces are to try and interface with where your kind of L bracketed bolts pass through. So I mean, in all honesty, this fits a lot better than I was expecting it would. There's this kind of like compressible foam rubberish gasket that's behind there. So I think when we actually bolt this thing down, this kind of face is actually going to line up with this kind of mounting flange. So I think this is going to be a good starting point to build the rest of the assembly off of. So I'm going to go through, take a whole bunch of measurements of just kind of like the cam itself, the bolt head, where it mounts from the flange, all of that stuff, and we'll just get something kind of representative, and we'll see. Been a little bit now, and we're back with the next version. So I took that same geometry, put it here, made these a little bit bigger for bolt availability, and gave the kind of the head of the bolt that rides on the cam a little bit of a pass through. I want to try and keep this as close to the diameter of the cam itself to just kind of keep dirt and stuff out from the timing chain or timing belt area. But we also have a little tiny drain hole in the bottom just in case water does get in. It can go out without having to kind of like seep through this crease. So let's see how this fits. See where the Hall Effect sensor lines up with the bolt head, and yeah, let's just see. That's looking pretty good. Let me pass some bolts through and see what this looks like once it's actually torqued down. This is how it looks with it bolted on. Sorry for the shadow, let's see. Okay, so basically we use the L hooks just like how the old distributor did. So you hook them in. The tang on these L hooks is honestly long enough that once they're in, there's literally no way that they can't be engaged. So now, as you can see, we got our Hall Effect sensor. We have our cam bolt that is actually what's normally used to retain the distributor cap. So now we're just gonna slowly rotate the crank over to try and get this to line up with this. And I mean, we should be pretty darn close to the ballpark. Obviously, if you look down from the top, we have a lot of extra space that we can kind of get rid of. So I'll end up walking this back, and I was gonna print a little bit of a cover, but then is also kind of a dust shield for this. So yeah, let's rotate this over, make sure that it's within the spec of this sensor, and then I still need to reprint this out of a better material, so we'll still do it one more time around, but that is working exactly like I hoped it would. We just need to make sure that this bolt and this sensor are in the same plane this way to make sure that it has a really good pickup. So let me quickly rotate the engine around. That, I will say, is pretty darn close to what I'm after. Obviously, as this rotates around, because it's a square, the edges get a lot closer than the flat will. I'm not super sure how that's going to play out with the software and what this sensor picks up, because obviously there's an Allen key hole in this. So if for some reason it's seeing a double trigger because it sees the front edge of the bolt, the opening for the Allen key, and the back edge of the bolt, there should be a setting where I can adjust the basically don't allow multiple teeth, or something along the lines of there will not be a secondary tooth within a specified angle duration. So I should be able to play with that, but all that the Speeduino and the Tuner Studio software wants is a single pulse crank trigger. So even if this doesn't inherently work just right off the bat, I should be able to tune the software to make it work. So I'm happy with this. Now we need to cut it back. That is quite literally almost in the exact center of the sensor. And there we have it. So yeah, this is carbon fiber filled PETG, so it is significantly stiffer than PLA. It has a higher temperature resistance, bolts down pretty darn good. Got our little cover on it, and our wires coming out. Obviously, when I go through and build the harness, I'll put some sheathing around this, make it black, make it blend. Turns out I didn't need as long of these as I needed, but rather have too much than not enough. So that's it.